Raila Odinga built ODM, and I worked. There can be people who are closer by blood to Raila than me, people who are more Raila's friend than me. But I will tell you, there's no one living who ever managed a party longer with Raila than me.
Ladies and gentlemen, National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi just stood up inside ODM and asked loud, where is Raila now? Not to an enemy, to the party that made him, to the family that elevated him, and the Odinga family hit back hard.
So I know where his heart was in terms of managing ODM. Raila Odinga did not intend to leave a family party. That could not be the Raila Odinga I knew. Raila Odinga did not intend to leave a regional party. He wanted ODM to be a national party that would live beyond him. And he kept on repeating it. So that is why I was saying, let us not invoke Raila's name every day. Raila has left us. And the legacy we can give Raila is to have a united ODM going forward. That is what he prayed for. And so if someone now decided to invoke emotions and portray for her own selfish interest that I said something negative about the Odinga family.
This is not just a disagreement. This is a war over who owns ODM's future, and it has already begun. At an ODM delegate retreat at the coast, Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi publicly challenged Kisumu Oman Representative Ruth Odinga, sister of Raila Odinga. Mbadi asked directly, where is Raila now? That single question shattered decades of unspoken protocol inside ODM. It was not a slip of the tongue. It was a declaration that dynastic difference inside the party is officially over. So here is what happened in sequence on records. At the Coast Retreat, National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi took the podium and pointed a question why Ruth Odinga, a sister of the party's founding figure, believed she could give orders inside ODM. The statement was deliberate, the target was deliberate, and the audience, ODM delegates, was also deliberate. The Odinga family responded swiftly on a multiple fronts. Starting with Iala MP Winnie Odinga did not respond on party grounds. Instead, speaking at the burial in Kisii, Winnie Odinga shifted the battlefield entirely and attacked Mbadi's performance as National Treasury Cabinet Secretary, with Kenya's national debt having breached the 10 trillion shillings marked, fuel prices volatile, and transport strikes paralyzing parts of the country. Winnie delivered a precise strike. The National Treasury is not a political office. Told Mbadi, talk less and show us your work. Mama Ida Odinga and Raila Jr. reinforced the message, framing the cabinet secretary as an grateful beneficiary of the family that built his national career. So Mbadi did not retreat. Starting in Homa Bay alongside Governor Gladys Wanga, the cabinet secretary laid out his credential that he has been 10 years as ODM chairman, 5 years as the minority leader in the National Assembly, and now running one of the Kenya's most strong office. Mbadi dismissed family response as juvenile politics, and then came the statement that changes everything. Mbadi declared readiness to contest the highest offices in the land, including the presidency. That is not a party scramble. That is a succession announcement made from Nyanza, aimed directly at the Odinga's political base. What Mbadi did at that coast retreat was not impulsive. The National Treasury Cabinet Secretary is a veteran politician with over a decade of institutional experience inside ODM. Mbadi knows exactly what the Odinga name means to the party base in Kisumu and Nyanza region. Choosing to public challenge Ruth Odinga in front of delegates was a calculated move to test whether the rank and the file would defend the dynasty or quietly agree that the older order needs new change. The Odinga's family response by passing the party debate and attacking Mbadi's economic records tells its own story. When a dynasty cannot defend itself on political grounds and instead pivots to technocratic criticism, it is no longer arguing from a position of unchallenged strength. The family is fighting back, but fighting back means the fight is real. When the insider who built the house start asking who owns it, the foundation has already cracked. John Mbadi spends 10 years as ODM chairperson, protecting the Odinga's legacy inside that party. So was the cost declaration a genuine break from a dynastic politics, or simply Mbadi positioning himself as the next dynasty to replace the one he helped build him? What is at stake here is the future of the single most influential opposition political vehicle Kenya has ever produced in the last 2 decades. ODM has survived elections, coalitions, defections, and betrayals because the Odinga name held the center of the party together. If a cabinet secretary, Mbadi, successfully decouples ODM institutional identity from that name, the party either transforms into something new or fractures into a competition faction or competing factions ahead of the 2027. The ordinary Kenyan who is from Nyanza, Western Nairobi, who has voted ODM across elections cycle deserves to know, is the party they have supported still the same party, or is it now simply a vehicle for whoever wins this internal war?